Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for this Let's Play of the Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya, or Gyakuten Yoshiwara. We are on Kagura's path, which is my favorite guy in this game, and I don't think there's any way I could possibly sound like make a voice to suit this guy. I mean, he's so beautiful, and I imagine him having this really smooth, deep voice, and there's no way I can do that as a woman. So I'm doing my best, but there's no way I can do him justice. He's so beautiful. Oh, I'd imagine it being like Sashomaru from Inuyasha or something. His voice. Well, anyway, let's head on with Chapter 9, Western Studies book. Today was the day that Genomon-san was coming. I wanted to see Kagura-san again. I wanted to see Kagura-san so much, that was all I could think of. So, though I had been feeling down, I now felt a little excited. As I should be. As soon as Genomon-san came to the island, he immediately showed off many rare items that he had gathered from all over the world. Wow! The area before my eyes was teeming with dazzling items. Furniture treated with beautiful engravings, decorations adorned with gold and silver, beautiful paintings, mysterious textiles. There were so many imported goods that I'd never seen before, and many I had no idea how to use. And they appeared one after another as if it was magic. Everyone who gathered at our shop sighed in unison at the sight of these items. And some people even shouted with amazement. Everyone, thank you for gathering here today. These items are not ones that I sought to collect as I traveled to many lands. Rather, they are items that I happened to collect. Everything here is valuable and rare. So please, look for as long as you like. And please, thoroughly consider if there might be an item that you would like to have. I, Genomon, will make my stay on this island for a spell. After that, Genomon's unveiling party continued. Some customers cheered with joy and some gasped with wonder. All this, along with Genomon's amusing old tales, made this time was very meaningful to me. Soon the unveiling party came to an end, and the customers left. We finally closed the store. After that, Genomon-san came to my room. Uncle, it's been a long time. Yes, it has. You've grown into quite a beautiful woman in the time that I didn't see you. It hasn't been that long since we've seen each other. Oh, really? We laughed together and talked about what we've been up to lately. Actually, I was itching to talk about Kagura-san, but of course I couldn't tell him about that. While I talked about more generic things, Genomon-san once again told me stories about many different countries. But from the time that Genomon-san unveiled his items in the store, there was an item that I was keenly interested in. I tried my best to pretend to be calm and bring it up during a break in our conversation. Genomon-san, that cherry blossom pattern kimono from before, I'd like to see it again. Ah, I remember it. Do you like it? Yes. I guess you've reached that age, haven't you? Misao-san. Huh? Let's see. Ah, I found it. There you go. Just as I thought, it's so beautiful. I've never seen such a beautiful kimono before. I would say that it looked like the first cherry blossom of the season, 1/3 of the way open. It was embroidered with gold and silver thread and looked very gorgeous and brilliant. Despite all that, it was elegant, not at all gaudy. Everything about it was neatly tailored. Genomon gently brought the fabric near my face. The colors and patterning match you quite well. For this kimono to match you means that you become a truly fine woman. Genomon nodded many times as he said that to me. From the time I first caught a glimpse of this kimono, I really liked it. If I wore this to see Kagura-san, I wonder what Kagura-san would say to me. I wonder if he would find it even a little beautiful. The thought of him always flickered in the back of my mind. I wanted him to like me more and more. I wanted to be loved by him. But what do you think? It is fairly expensive. I think it's good to have clothing like this for a special occasion, though. He was a merchant, but Genomon still cared for me like a parent. Maybe it's because our relationship was close like family. It's always been Genomon-san's policy to never do business in a way that would make people hate him. I have the money. I do. I still have money left over. I still had money from the time that I helped that couple run away. But If I bought this, the number of times I could see Kagura-san would make that much less. The money that I have now is everything that I have on hand. I didn't have any strategy to make more money. After deep consideration... I don't think Kagura would care that much. I think I won't buy it. Perhaps it's better not to buy it. I said that after swallowing my desire to have it. It does match you quite well, though. And just then, one other product caught my attention. This is... Genomon-san, what is this? Misao-san, are you interested in this? That's unexpected. When I asked, he said it was the same price as the kimono. I didn't need to think about it. I instantly made up my mind. Genomon-san, I'll buy this instead of the kimono. I clearly declared that to him. Now I'm running to Yoshiwara as fast as my legs can carry me. It was much earlier than usual. The sun was still high up in the sky, but I wanted to see Kagura-san as soon as possible. I wanted to show Kagura-san as quickly as possible. I tightly held on to the item close to my chest. When Genomon-san recommended the kimono to me, the item that jumped out at me was a Western Studies book with gold lettering, written on its red leather-bound cover. Genomon proudly declared that it was a genuine Western Studies book. Genomon was suspicious as to why a girl of my age would want something like that. But when I told him I wanted to give it to someone, he narrowed his eyes and laughed. After that, he sold me the book without any further questions. Of course I didn't forget to remind him that this would be kept a secret. But while focused on making my way to Kikuya, something happened. Where are you off to in such a hurry? There was a woman who was purposely blocking my way. Who could she be? I didn't know her, but I felt like I've seen her somewhere before. I'm in a hurry, so pardon me. The expression on her face looked to be harboring some hostile feelings against me. I had a bad feeling about this. I made a point not to mention where I was going, and I tried to rush ahead. But the woman wasn't about to let that happen. I asked you where you're going. I knew it. You're going to see Kagura in Kikuya, aren't you? Oh. I suddenly remembered. This woman. It happened when I went to Kikuya for the first time. She was the person making a huge commotion, yelling to let her buy Kagura-san. I only saw her as she was getting kicked out by the people who work in the shop, but I heard that she wasn't allowed to enter Kikuya anymore, since she had acted on a very oppressive and domineering way. I heard that you've been spending a lot of money on Kagura. I tried to quickly cut around this unsettling atmosphere, but... Oh, you're not getting away so easily. I'm trying to warn you about something important. What is it? With the woman grabbing my arm, I was unable to move, and since I was holding that important book, I didn't want to make any false moves. No matter how much money you spend on him, it's useless on that guy. He didn't lay a single finger on me, even though he made me spend a lot of money on him. It's better not to expect anything from him, you know? If he were a horse, he'd be a handsome imposter, unable to run or even be ridden. He's a completely defective product as a man. A defective product? Kagura-san is not what you're saying. I said that while trying to calm the rage that was boiling inside me, but my voice was shaking with anger. As much as she was trying to get back at him, that was a horrible thing for her to say. You're saying he's not? Well, aren't you a big talker? What kind of things do you really know about him? If you can say that, say it now. Maybe I should say... Oh, I wish I could say I don't know anything. Just pretend, like, just let it go. Just let it slide by. But no, I have to say something. Alright, Misao, say I won't tell you? Do I have a reason to tell you about such things? Oh, what's that? Don't get cheeky with me. We're birds of the same feather, aren't we? But I really love Kagura-san. No, why did you say that, Misao? Saying that was like pouring oil on a fire. Don't get cocky. Just as she said that, I made a break to run away from her. Ugh. I tripped on the leg that she put out. Before I could do anything, I fell over, and my entire body took a hard blow. Because I hit my elbow, I dropped the important book. No! Where did it go? I was in a panic to find it. Ugh! It slid across the ground and, oh no! Before I knew it, it tumbled into a ditch. Oh dear, was that important? Serves you right. She burst out in laughter and finally left. My mind went totally blank. What should I do? I paid a lot of money to get that for Kagura-san. It was a valuable Western studies book, something that you couldn't get so easily. I wanted to show it to Kagura-san as soon as possible, but now it was in a black muddy ditch. If I dredge the river now, maybe I'll find it somehow. I wonder if its contents are still readable. But in any case, how am I supposed to dredge the bottom of the ditch this deep? Just then, don't worry. The person who said that and appeared in front of me was Kagura-san! It was the person I wanted to see the most. I received notice that you were having trouble with some strange person. I'm sorry. It seems to be someone that I know. No, it isn't your fault. I guess he saw the woman earlier. Kagura-san turned his face down as if he felt deeply sorry from the bottom of his heart. But soon he lifted his face and laid his eyes on the ditch. It seems that you dropped something important. I will go and find it. But you don't have to. You don't need to worry about a thing. I've trained my body for emergencies like this. After he said that, Kagura-san immediately began to search through the ditch. He was using a rod to carefully search inside the black murky muck. Water was being splashed, mud was being splattered everywhere. On his handsome face, and on his beautiful kimono. The sight of a popular courtesan dredging the pitch-dark ditch started to attract curious onlookers. A sprinkling of bystanders started to gather. I wanted to stop him. I wanted to stop him from bringing shame to his name. I wanted to stop him from doing something that didn't correspond with his status. Please stop. Kagura-san, I'm okay. Really, I'm okay, so please. I desperately screamed at Kagura-san, but Kagura-san made no attempt to stop what he was doing. I will decide what is good or bad. Since it's a book, it will probably sink to the bottom if I don't find it quickly. He continued to desperately dredge through the muck without even looking at me. Stop it! Please stop it! I thought that so many times in my heart, but Kagura-san would not stop what he was doing. His behavior was ridiculed by the other courtesans in the shop that were in competition with him, as well as the gentlemen of the night, who worked really hard but just couldn't become courtesans. That's a good look on you, isn't it? Why don't you make this ditch your room for today? The crowd jeered and laughed at him. This is really stupid. But Kagura-san continued to silently dredge the ditch. Kagura-san! I really wanted him to stop. Just as I was about to get into the ditch to stop him, a miracle happened. May I help you? Maybe some of them felt moved, watching him search desperately despite the laughter. Among the onlookers, there was someone who said that they would help him. Kagura-san lifted his face and looked at us, and... I'm sorry, but I need your help. The always proud courtesan, the high-handed courtesan, a courtesan who was said to be only beautiful, lowered his head to ask for help. Everyone immediately fell silent. Then, right after that, voices of surprise rose out from the crowd, and a sight the likes of which we had never seen before took place in a ditch in Yoshiwara. The gentlemen hiked up their kimonos and searched for the item I dropped in the ditch. Soon after, hey, I found it! Having found the book in the mud, everyone around rejoiced together in reaction to this big catch. Is this what you dropped? Kagura-san handed it to me while wiping the mud away from the book. While doing so, Kagura-san's complexion immediately changed. This is... I wanted to give it to you, Kagura-san. I'm sorry for this. I didn't mean for it all to happen. Kagura-san's hand was trembling. It was the first time for me to see him shaking like this. Kagura-san? I'm so grateful. This is the first time that I've received a gift as valuable as this. Perhaps overcome with emotion, Kagura-san clutched the mud-covered book close to his chest. I didn't expect him to be this happy. This also made me happy. Cheers of joy launched all around us. Deeply moved by all this, I became overwhelmed with emotion. Chapter 10, Filled with Tears. From the ditch, I went back to Kikuyo with Kagura. When we returned, Iroha was waiting for us, with a frown on his face.
I heard about what happened, Kagura. And from that dirty appearance of yours, it would seem that it was true. You dredged a ditch.
Iroha-san continued to have wrinkles deeply carved into his brow.
Of all the people, one of our courtesans hiked up his kimono and got into a ditch. That's just unheard of. May I at least inquire to the circumstances that led to this?
Then Iroha-san quickly glanced at me. I'm sorry, it's my fault.
I did this willingly. You don't seem to have any regrets about this.
Iroha-san sighed deeply. Then he glared sharply at Kagura.
I've had enough of this. Hurry up and take a bath. Your smell is unbearable.
Yes, but before that, Iroha-san.
What is it?
I would like to hold a banquet today. I'll cover all the expenses.
A banquet for Misao.
Kagura-san! I'm sorry for this. You don't have to.
Please, allow me to do this as a thank you for this.
Kagura-san held up and showed me the Western Studies book that still had some mud left on it. Kagura-san!
I feel like it's worth about as much. You don't mind, do you, Iroha-san?
Iroha-san once again let out a massive sigh.
Well, this time we'll do as you say.
Thank you so much. Thus, the banquet began. This banquet had an air to it that was different from normal.
Kagero, pour sake for Misao.
Yes, Misao-san, please enjoy.
After her, pour for me.
Yes. Next to Kagura-san, the Western Studies book, which had been wiped free of mud, tonight's banquet was being hosted by Kagura-san, as a way of saying thanks to me. And because of that, Kagura-san seemed to be much more at ease than he usually was at banquets. Also, I guess it could be because he was in charge, but there were a lot of trainees in attendance. The atmosphere was filled with laughter and the comfort of close friends. I felt like I could fit into this place. It made me very happy. Is this the rumored book that Misao-san gave you? Kagura-san tried to take the book in his hand and look at it, but...
Don't touch it. I'm not going to show it to you so easily.
Once Kagura-san said that, he took the Western Studies book back and hid it somewhere. He's been like that for a little while now. I'm not sure if it's because he likes it that much, but Kagura-san won't let anyone look at it. A little peek wouldn't hurt, would it? Creating a bit of mischief, I snatched the book away from him. As soon as Kagura-san saw the book, Kagura-san looked at Kagura with surprise. Oh, this book looks to be a very valuable book. Kagura-san quickly averted his eyes away from the book. Kagura-san then swiftly took the book back from my hands. They both looked like something had happened. What could it be? My mind became clouded with suspicion, but I came to clearly understand the true identity of that suspicion. Around the time that everyone got moderately drunk and the banquet went into full swing, today everyone let loose and the banquet went into disarray. Kagura-san got up to leave, and a trainee nearby came to take his seat. The trainee endearingly said nice things to me, but...
Ah, there's something underneath this cushion.
Suddenly displaying an innocence appropriate of his age, he put his hand under the cushion. Oh my, that's the Western Studies book that Kagura-san hid earlier. When I tried to say that...
Huh? Doesn't the courtesan already have the same book?
Huh? Kagura-san frantically jumped out.
That looks similar, but it's a different book. No, it's soiled with mud, but it's the same book. The book has gold text on a red leather-bound cover. There's no mistake that it's the same book.
Oh. So, this is the feeling of discomfort that I felt earlier. Kagura-san noticed it as soon as he looked at the book. It was a book that Kagura-san already owned. I was stunned. He already owned it. And yet, Kagura-san was so pleased. That kindness of his made my heart ache. In front of my eyes...
You still don't understand anything about Western studies, do you?
Kagura-san tried to cover it up.
I can tell from its shape and appearance. I have a good eye.
The trainee said that while on the verge of tears. The fun and lively atmosphere instantly changed. The room became quiet and everyone was uncomfortable. Then Kagura-san returned after previously leaving his seat.
Oh, it's the courtesan.
After that, it appeared that Kagura-san immediately figured out what happened. When he looked at me, he had a shameful expression that displayed an unspeakable sadness. Then,
It doesn't matter how many books I have.
"That's good then. And that's right, the one I gave you became dirty, so I'm relieved that you have another one." I also rushed to cover things up and smiled at him. The trainee from before finally understood what he had done, and now he looked like he wanted to cry even more than before. Oh, poor guy. "You're fine, so don't worry about it. I'm really relieved now, see? It would have been a problem if there were parts that he couldn't read because it got dirty." That's what I said to the trainee to make him feel better.
I'm sorry I had to make you go through all that.
"Oh no, you held such a nice banquet for me. I'm so grateful for that." Kagura-san then quickly came up next to me, and he quietly took my hand. "Kagura-san?"
This young and inexperienced trainee caused you trouble. I am truly grateful to you. I was happy to receive a gift like that from you.
After Kagura-san stared at my hands and said that, his eyes slowly stared into my eyes. I like his eyes. I like this strong and fearless man. That's why my heart was now hammering furiously against my ribs. Soon after, the lively banquet came to an end. Everyone left, leaving just Kagura-san and me. Then the events of today instantly weighed heavily on my mind. I should probably apologize again. Regardless of the fact that I gave him a book that he already owned, I did make him dredge a ditch. But before I could open my mouth,
I'm sorry for today.
"Huh?" Kagura-san apologized before me, and this took the wind out of my sails.
When I noticed it was a book that I already owned, it would have been better to tell you the truth. I just neglected to do that. And all it did was give you a hard time.
"No, not at all. It's all my fault. I wanted to apologize to you first."
You have nothing to apologize for. You only obtained a book that I like and tried to give it to me. And my joy was no lie. I was truly happy. How did you feel to get this book? How did you feel to hold this book to your chest and run as fast as you could over to the town of Yoshiwara in the middle of the day? I can imagine how you must have felt without so much as asking. I can also imagine how you felt when it fell into the ditch.
Kagura-san's glance was gentler than ever before. He looked upon me with such kind eyes. I wouldn't know what to do if he were to dazzle me any more than this.
I will treasure this Western Studies book.
Kagura-san! Tears slowly came to my eyes. Who would have guessed that I would be this happy?
Why are you crying? You really do cry a lot.
With my vision hazed with tears, the only thing I could see clearly was Kagura-san's smile. "I'm sorry." But the more I tried to hold my tears back, the more they strangely seemed to overflow.
Jeez. I have no idea whether you're strong or weak.
After he said that, Kagura-san softly held my body in his arms. He held me very gently. Perhaps it was because he had just taken a bath earlier, but a vaguely agreeable aroma hit my nose. He gently stroked my back to soothe me. But when he did that, it needlessly made tears overflow from my eyes. The palm of his hand went back and forth across my back over and over. The palm of Kagura-san's hand was warm, big, and gentle.
When will you stop crying? At this rate, you'll keep crying until morning.
When my cheek brushed up against Kagura-san's chest, I could hear Kagura-san's deep voice directly from his chest. In the end, in my current state, I would cry no matter what happened to me. There was no stopping my crying now. Though Kagura-san felt sorry about it, there was nothing that could be done about it. Then suddenly, Kagura-san's hand that was stroking my back stopped its movement. Then he briefly distanced himself from my body and looked down on me.
Well then, I guess the only way to stop it is by kissing your eyelids.
Huh?
After that, I'll seal those sobbing lips of yours.
As if being controlled by Kagura-san's words, my mind imagined this on its own, and my body became hot with embarrassment. Close your eyes. In response, I gently closed my eyes.
Misao.
I could hear Kagura-san's husky voice, and he graciously and gently laid kisses on my eyelids, ever so gently, over and over again. Tears flowed from my closed eyelids. I was happy. Naturally from joy, tears flowed from my eyes. Kagura-san brought his lips to my tears that flowed down my cheeks and kissed me over and over again. And soon after that, we kissed each other deeply. It hurt. The instant we touched each other, my chest became so hot that it hurt. I began to get a tingling sensation in my chest and in my lips, and throughout my entire body.
Misao.
Kagura-san called my name. What a lovely voice, and what lovely lips. This kiss was different from the forceful one that we exchanged before. It was such a comfortable sensation that I felt like I was going to melt. Without thinking, my voice escaped from my mouth. As soon as I did, Kagura-san's tongue snuck into my mouth. Our tongues intertwined. This time, a different type of tears rolled down my cheeks. How many tears could I have shed today? How many tears are necessary when I'm with Kagura-san? Does liking someone mean abusing your emotions this much? And that night, with ravenous desire, we kissed each other over and over again until we fell asleep at some point. And that's our 2 chapters for today. I would love to see you in my future videos. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.